Hey, did you see what happened last night? Pretty amazing. Last night on Saturday Night Live, the highly anticipated Timothée Chalamet was both taking a dual role, guest hosting and playing as the musical act on Saturday Night Live. Did you see it? If you did see it, I want to know your comments below. Hi, I'm Steve Yusko from the Long Island Sound podcast, and I really want to tie into something that I'm really happy about. One, I didn't watch any of the sketches. I just saw the music this morning. I got tired, couldn't stay up past 11:30, way out much after 11:30. But I was interested in how Timothée Chalamet was going to portray himself as a musician. You know, it took 5 years. For those who don't know, it took him 5 years to learn the guitar, to learn how to sing and play guitar and harmonica like Bob Dylan. I think he did a fantastic job. As I've said before, he wasn't a caricature, really. He almost did what Jim Carrey did on with the Andy Kaufman movie, where you drop back and go, oh my God, he really is embodying the character that we knew on television. And I think this is true with Timothée Chalamet. But have you ever had somebody say to you, or you recognize, hey, you weren't the right messenger for that message? And this may sound weird, but is Bob Dylan the right messenger for Bob Dylan's music? Tell me in the comments below. But I think early in Bob's career, people covered his songs. He's a unique singer, and he's got the voice of every man, in my opinion. And, the Byrds covered him. Peter, Paul, and Mary covered him and brought him to a wider audience. And that's my take with Timothée Chalamet on Saturday Night Live and with the movie A Complete Unknown. I think Timothy is that bridge to exposing Bob Dylan's music to a wider audience. Now, he could have gone in a couple of directions. Timothy is what could have you done? He could have come out as Dylan. I think it would have been cheesy. He could have came out as Dylan and, taken on the character and sing like Dylan. He didn't do that. His first song that he did, which we'll get into later maybe, by the way, the links will be in the description below, he really, really picked some obscure tunes. And that was the thing that I thought was really interesting in the way that they approached the music. He could have played Hurricane. I don't know if he could play that, but he could have played like Rolling Stone or The Times That Are Changing. Everybody knows those songs. Even people who don't really know Dylan know those songs. But he chose an obscure song to play. And this is the one that he did in his second set, which I thought was, really just amazing on how he approached it. The song is called Tomorrow is a Long Time. Now, I'm listening to him sing the song. He does it beautifully. He doesn't do it in a Dylan voice. He does it, I think, in his authentic singing voice. And I asked myself, is this a Dylan song? I wasn't familiar with it. So what I did, which I think a lot of the audience, particularly maybe the younger members of the audience, went right to Google and Googled it. And yeah, it's on Bob Dylan's Greatest Hits Volume 2. And what I think is cool about that is that, well, it now provides a little bit of mystery for me. I'm a Dylan fan. I'm not crazy nuts about being a Dylanologist, but now that taste of that song made me want to discover more of Bob Dylan. And I think it's a young, fresh face that brings it to this audience that is really kind of cool. And I think that's great. I was talking to my pastor after church this morning, and we were talking about the movie. I equated him with Timothée Chalamet because he's reaching an audience of people who don't typically go to church, and he's a cool guy. He walks the walk and talks the talk, and is not a nutcase. And he said to me, he says, he's a 30-something guy. If you mention a Bob Dylan song, I couldn't say I knew a Bob Dylan song. And I stepped back. And I wanted to relay this song that we used to do, and believe it or not, a contemporary Christian band that I was part of. I was very fortunate to be part of. And it was really frowned upon, not sacred food, sacred music. Good joke. And what we do is we do an introduction to this song. A lot of people think it's an Adele song, but it's a Dylan song. It's called Make You Feel My Love. And what we did is we put it our interpretation, and we've heard this. I stole this from a priest who said, if you know the song, I'll sing. When the rain is blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case, I would offer you a warm embrace, make you feel when the shadows and the stars appear, and there's no one there to dry your tears. I would hold you for 1,000,000 years, make you feel my love. Anyway, I'm probably screwing up the lyrics, but we presented that song to an audience, not as a Dylan song, but in a way you could look at it through Christ's passion, in that who else could love you for 1,000,000 years, who would go crawling down the avenue, who would wipe your tears. And it gave a different perspective on that song. We sang it in church, and people really loved it. And we brought Dylan to a different audience. It all comes around, right? So that's what I think effectually in choosing these songs that Timothy did last night is it provided a little mystery. It questioned my ability to know, is that really a Dylan song? And I think he really pulled it off. You know, he started out, by the way, the first set, he did 2 songs, and they were really rocking, and 3 Angels, and he did like a poetry aspect to it. And Dylan's a poet, really is, and he's an amazing guy. Drew attention, which I thought was great. But then I jumped right to what he did with the second one, which is Tomorrow is a Long Time, and it's a great lament song, really deep lyrics, and I think it's just really fantastic. So really, I'm excited to see what Timothy does next. I don't know if he's going to ride the Dylan thing really long. I hope he doesn't. He'll get, characterized by it. But there's a lot to say in what he accomplished in the past 5 years of putting his take on Bob Dylan. And, he learned guitar. For those who don't know, he learned guitar. I learned how to play like Dylan, sing like Dylan, and play harmonica like Dylan. And you know what? He really pulled it off. Anyway, please let me know. Hey, subscribe to the channel. That helps us get to a wider audience. And as I say, be generous with your joy. Keep your spirits high, and let the music take you on a journey. I'm Steve Yusko, the Long Island Sound. Be well.